Boy, do I have a video for you. So it's gonna be a lot of talking in this video. This is something I want to kind of explain, and just like the title says, it is exactly true. So yesterday, Rachel and I and the kids, we went over to Rachel's mom yesterday morning. We were there pretty much all day till yesterday evening. We come home about dark, and I went out to feed, and I noticed something wasn't right. Let's get right into the story. I seen Livestock sitting out in the middle of the field. We're gonna walk out there a little bit. You can see everybody's waiting to eat right now, but I'm gonna wait to feed them. I was coming out to feed. Livestock was sitting out there in the middle of the field, and I could see he was laying by something. So I come out and I go ahead and feed, and I walk on out here, and Livestock wasn't coming to eat. So I knew something was going on. Well, closer I get, I could finally see what it was, and he was laying by what looked like a dead deer or a goat. It was a dead goat. The closer I got, that goat had been partially eaten. And although I did not see either one of these dogs do it, it was one of them that had eaten the whole back leg off this goat. And I know some people's gonna say, oh, you gotta get rid of them dogs, you gotta, you know, that's not good. Well, in this instance, this is a weird deal because we don't know how the goat died. Our goats are never aggressive with the goat, so I don't think they killed it. I think we just had a goat that just died for whatever reason. It did look bloated. However, with these ruminant animals, it's hard to tell because once these ruminant animal dies, they get kind of bloated pretty quick. But it was severely bloated, so I don't know if it got into something, if it ate a little too much of something, or whatever. It had died. Now, some of you might be asking why I am not mad about the dogs eating the goat, and I'm going to kind of explain that. Now, in the past, we have had some kids born that were stillborn, or for whatever reason they just didn't make it. And Mojo, our last Great Pyrenees bear, even Daisy has eaten the kids. Once they died, the dogs, by instinct, they know to get rid of that carcass because it picks up a scent and it goes in the air, and then the predators know there's a dead animal, and it'll bring in coyotes, it'll bring in the vultures and stuff like that. These dogs, by instinct, are bred to get rid of anything like that, and I'm pretty sure in this instance this is what they were doing. Livestock would not leave that goat's side. There we go. Livestock would not leave that goat's side, even though it was dead. He was sitting there with it the whole time, and once I got both of them to come up to the feed, they both ate, and whoever it was ate the whole leg of that goat. It was just completely gone. The bones were broke, everything. I didn't want to film all that. Like I said, it was almost dark. Plus, it's a little too graphic for YouTube and Facebook anyways. But you guys get the picture. And I'm walking out here to where I actually buried that goat. And it was the weirdest deal because Livestock would not leave the goat's side. Even when I brought it out here with the tractor, I dug a hole. Livestock just laid right there by it, pretty much kind of like caressing it and like just putting his nose on it, kind of. It's the weirdest deal. And like I said, I never seen either one of the goats actually eat it, but one of them did. So this is where the little goat is buried, and I buried it as deep as I could because I don't want these dogs trying to dig it up because they can probably smell it down there. But yeah, I know this is a weird deal, guys, but this is just another instinct of these livestock guarding dogs, and it's actually a good instinct. Now, if I had seen one of these dogs, Livestock or Cora, chasing a goat and playing aggressive with it, and then, you know, later I seen one dead, then I would automatically just assume that one of them killed the goat and then was eating it. Now, another thing somebody might ask is, why didn't I just let the dogs eat the whole thing? Well, that's not something we want to get started. We don't want them to say, oh yeah, anytime I need a free meal, I'll just kill a goat. They were trying to get rid of the goat, you know, leg at a time, I guess, because they were, whichever one of them that had eaten the whole leg. It was just crazy. But that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to get rid of the dead bodies. I guess it's kind of like humans. When our family dies, we bury them, we get rid of them, right? And these goats are their family, and they're trying to get rid of them because they don't want any of the bad predators to be brought in by the smell and all that, and take out everybody else, because that's their job, is to keep all the bad guys away, right? So I don't know, guys. It's a weird deal. I know a lot of people are probably gonna say, I can't believe you're making this video, you know. I know a lot of farmers and YouTubers wouldn't want to show anything like that, you know. That's kind of it's a very weird deal, but it's reality. And if you guys follow us because you have a farm or you have dogs or goats, this is something that can be expected. Like I said, it is not something bad. Now, in the next week or so, if I make another video and we have another goat dead and the dogs are eating it, then we'll probably be talking about an issue. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and say that these dogs were just trying to get rid of a dead goat for whatever problem, whether it had parasites or just got sick and died. I don't know. It didn't look like it had any marks on it at all. It was not a predator that killed it. Now these dogs are busy playing. But anyways, that's how I want to start this video off. Just get to the point. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to title this video, Our Livestock Guardian Dogs Just Ate a Goat. Something like that. So you can see they're playing. They're happy. They're ready for dinner. And you can see I got trash laying all around because these dogs just go find stuff and bring it up here and just make a big mess with it, don't you? Don't you, pretty girl? But yeah, we don't have any sick goats right now, so I don't know if that goat got into something or, you know, I don't have a clue. But none of our goats are sick. None of them have scours right now. Everybody's pretty healthy. They should be bred with the new New Zealand buck that we got. He's been doing a good job. What do you think of that new buck, huh? You like him? But they're all waiting for dinner. So, when I talk about we don't have any goats sick, a lot of times when you have a herd of goats, normally more times than none, you're gonna have a sick goat, you're gonna have a couple sick goats, they're gonna get scours, they're gonna have diarrhea. Normally it's more than one. It'll be, you know, if you got 30 goats, you might have 5 or 10 goats that are sick. Normally there's not just one goat that gets parasites or, you know, just kind of comes up with something. Now, we've had a goat here and there in the past come up with pneumonia and just some weird stuff like that. But when you have heavy parasite loads, normally it will affect more than just one goat in your herd. So let me go get some food and we'll come back and feed them. You'll quit stealing the goat food. You'll get your own in a minute. All right, so everybody's ready to be fed dinner time. There's a new little New Zealand buck right there. He's still smaller than most of our nannies, but he's been doing a good job. Come on, Leesky. Trick them goats. We'll come feed the dogs real quick. What you know, Miss Cora? Huh? What you know, Miss Cora? Got you some fresh eggs. There, Mr. Leesky. Try my best to get equal shares. Fresh eggs every day for our dogs. Here, Cora. All right. Look at all these thieves over here. Hey, Skeeter, what you doing? All right, let's see if I can do this. Oh, one-handed. Here they come. Nice little feed bunk. Okay. It's not the easiest thing to do when you got a 30-pound bucket of feed. And a camera in the other hand. But there's the buck right there. He said, oh, I don't want to be on camera. There he is. So yeah, it is a really weird thing. Like I said, we've never had a dog eat an adult goat like that, but in this case it's first time. And you know, I've heard, and I've actually talked to some other farmers that raise goats and livestock guardian dogs, and I've actually heard about this more than a dozen times. One of their goats dying and, you know, laying out in the field, and the farmer didn't find it real quick, and the dogs had just pretty much devoured it to where there was just like a skull and, you know, spine kind of left. And I don't think this goat had been gone very long, and these dogs have already worked on one of the rear legs of it. And I don't want to talk too much more about that, but I knew, you know, that could eventually happen, and it finally did. So I just felt like we needed to make a video, because we try to make educational videos, and educational videos are not always positive, guys, and you guys know that. You know, we strive to be real and truthful. So with the good comes the bad, and in this case, I'm not even going to consider this bad. It's just weird. It's something you don't normally hear about. These dogs were doing their job and trying to get rid of that dead goat, so it didn't bring any other predators like coyotes or anything around, because, you know, we still got young goats and stuff, and if that scent draws in a big pack of coyotes, then we've only got 2 dogs that are with this herd of goats that can fend them off. And you know, if there was a pack of hold on, look at this. Look at this. You got the other dog up here. He runs the yard in the other pasture. He jumps the fence back and forth, so he comes where he wants. Are you hungry, Mojo? Okay, let me finish this video real quick and I'll come feed you, Bubba. So he's the alpha dog on the pack. He comes and goes, jumps the fences and all that, and protects my family as well. But yeah, if you guys have ever heard of this, or you have a farm, you have any kind of livestock guardian dogs, I want to hear your stories. Please leave a comment down below and let me know. Have you ever had this happen? And you know, when I first seen it, you're thinking, oh my gosh, my dog's just killed the goat. But then after inspecting the goat, and you know, I determined there was nothing wrong with the goat. You know, normally if a dog is going to take down a goat, if they want to, you know, take them down for good, they'll grab them by the throat and just choke them or just rip them. They'll do all kinds of stuff. The only thing this one had wrong was it was missing a whole back leg, and yeah, it just didn't look right. Like it looked severely bloated. So I'm guessing that it ate something. There we do have something toxic here, and I've tried to go through and cut them all down. We have what they call a wild cherry tree, and we first learned about this about 8 years ago when we raised boar goats. A storm come in and the cherry tree got knocked over, a big one right over here. Well, it was probably about 10-14 days later, we started having a bunch of these goats just acting weird. Like they were perfectly healthy, all of a sudden they would just lay down and they would die within, you know, 12 hours or so. And we took a goat, had a toxicology report done, and it determined that they had I think it was cyanide. Stone fruits like cherries and stuff like that, that is where they get cyanide from, you know, cyanide poison and stuff like that. Well, they didn't get it from the fruit, they actually got it from the cherry leaves. And green wild cherry leaves are not bad. They don't have enough cyanide to poison any animal in it. It's when they turn brown and start to dry. That scared me. This chicken got a little too close to the dog's food. They don't mess around when it's dinner time. Get out of here, Gucci. You're gonna get eaten for dinner. Shh, get. But anyways, the green leaves on these wild cherry trees and the other fruit trees where that has cyanide, they don't get the high levels of cyanide until the tree falls over or the leaves fall, and then, you know, they're dry for quite a while. That's when the cyanide toxic levels go real high. So right now you guys can see we had a big freeze about a week ago come in. All the trees are starting to turn, except for the evergreens, they're staying green, but like most of the oaks, the hickories, everything else is turning brown now. these wild cherries. I got some up here by my shop. Let me zoom up here. These trees, that tallest tree right there, that is a wild cherry tree. If you can see those leaves right there. Now, I leave those in the yard because the wild cherry trees are awesome for the wild birds, the migratory birds, everything that comes through here. They love the wild cherries in the summertime. So we leave those in the yard. They're not a danger to anything. Now, all the ones in the pasture, I've tried to take my backhoe or chainsaw and I've either dug them up, burned them, or I just cut them down and burned them. That way we never had to worry about a storm coming through and blowing down a whole tree. Now, if they eat a couple leaves, it ain't gonna do nothing. But like right now, these leaves are just falling like crazy. If one goat just sat there and collected a bunch of leaves and just ate them off that wild cherry tree right now, once they're, you know, good and dead and they hit the ground, they probably got to high levels of cyanide in them. So, you know, it's kind of scary because that makes you think, well, what if that goat did die from cyanide poisoning? Well, luckily I got the goat out of here fast enough before the dogs ate any of the stomach contents, because I don't know if the dogs could have got the poisoning from eating the goat that got poisoning. I don't know. I'm just kind of assuming. I didn't have time to, you know, mess with the goat last night when we got home. It was on the weekend. I didn't have time to take it into a vet and get a toxicology report or anything like that, you know, to determine what, if it had anything in its blood, why it died, all that type of stuff. I just had to pretty much bury it. But I'm pretty much leaning towards it. It probably had some kind of a poisoning, I'm guessing, on the wild cherry trees. So I'm gonna have to, here pretty quick, I'm gonna have to go through here and see if I can find a wild cherry tree, and if there's any out there, I'm gonna have to cut it down. Them and the wild plums usually grow in thickets around here, and they grow pretty fast. And I haven't checked in a year or two, so that's something I'm really gonna have to do. But like I said, we don't have any other goats sick. None sick. We don't have nothing with scours, the diarrhea. I mean, just don't have no issues. Don't have no parasite issues right now. Knock on wood. Everything's going good. So, I don't know. Sometimes, I know people don't want to believe this in YouTube and Facebook world, but sometimes animals are just like humans. They can just fall over and die one day. Chickens, we lose chickens here and there. You know, every once in a while you'll lose a goat for whatever reason. And these dogs are new to the farm. Since that's happened, we haven't had any losses of goats or anything around the dog, so I didn't know how they were going to react to it. And now I know that they try to take care of the problem, and they tried to eat that sucker to get rid of it. So anyways, there you go. That's the story on the dogs and the goat. The dogs ate a goat, literally. Luckily I was here and caught it, and they didn't get all of it. But anyways, guys, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like this video, leave a comment. Like I said, if you've ever had this happen or ever heard of it, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. We love you, and we'll see you on the next one.